Surf Temple of Toon was made in 2007 by the legendary surf mapper Rinken. It was only 2 years after surf was invented by Mariond, back when people were still trying to figure out the possibilities with the mapping tools available. Back then, most maps just looked like crude experiments, with ramps scattered all around with no concern for looks or ambience. But Rinken was no ordinary mapper, having already worked on many freestyle-oriented surf maps and the well-known banger, Surf Simpson's Final. Still, Temple of Toon was way ahead of anything we had at the time. There's a consistent theme and the use of lighting, sounds, and sprites to create atmosphere. It uses pretty much all space and resources available for a CS 1.6 map and requires a varied set of skills including KZ and B-hopping. There's no doubt that it is, historically, the community's favorite. In terms of gameplay, there was an important innovation. Rinken made the whole map seamless. Even though there are clearly separated levels, they are all connected directly, without teleports. This was interesting in so many ways that it became something most other mappers tried to follow. It meant that speed could be carried from some levels to others, which has obvious implications for speedrun. Surfers would explore everything, including boosts, ledges, and scenery details, to find shortcuts and tricks to show off. Which takes us to our matter in hand, Temple of Toon's legendary shortcut. It was only in 2009 when a first prototype of this shortcut appeared in a trick surf movie featuring the Argentinian surfer Alucard. The trick involved getting huge speed from a boost, taking a couple ramps, then going back to the previous level, where he hit a ledge and flew all over to the start of it. A few months later, 2 of the best surfers at the time, Tony and G. Menegatti, were seen in public servers doing the same route but going even further, realizing there was room for improving the trick. People knew there was a more interesting spot to reach nearby. Rinken scattered areas on top of random levels where players who reached the end of the map could watch others from above. There were teleport doors on the end room which took people to these areas from which another teleport could be taken to go back to this end room. Being able to reach one of these areas mid-run would cut a good portion of the main route, which took about 4 minutes to complete back then. One of these areas was a bit above Alucard's end spot, in the opposite side of the level. People began to theorize the possibility of reaching that spot directly from a near ledge, and there were rumors that Tony and G. Menegatti themselves got very close to it. It became clear it was just a matter of time until someone landed the shortcut. It was ultimately done by Alfred, who released it in the 2010 Tricksurf movie, dedicated to It served as a proof of concept for whoever was crazy enough to land it in the middle of a speedrun. It took a whole year for that to happen. Falanzer landed it and took the world record in December of 2011. In 2012, G. Menegatti managed to land a harder and faster version of the shortcut in a run, where he took a boost from the previous level instead of the following level. With this, he hit the 57-second mark. This route was perfected by Tony, who was able to shave whole 5 seconds from the world record in 2014. The upcoming surf prodigy Fees ultimately took the crown in 2016, landing a run that was never beaten. It was by this time that 1.6 surf took a huge blow. A recent engine update raised effective speed and gravity pull. People would come up with ways to downgrade CS 1.6, but the update rendered all previous records easily beatable and thus outdated. Discontent with this, the player base and activity decreased a lot. To make matters worse, public servers were dying and the surf portal where all records were checked and maintained had its administration stepping down. The 1.6 scene saw a certain revival with the Surf Gateway servers and website. But Gateway always blocked the Temple of Toon shortcut, deeming it impossible in the heavier and faster-paced updated game. The reasoning was that unblocking the shortcut would force speedrunners to downgrade the engine, creating confusion and overshadowing the main map route. That is, until now. With how much Surfer's improved since then, we're not sure, but we believe the shortcut may actually be possible in the new engine. That's why we're creating a separate entry for it. Good luck to everyone who wants to try the shortcut again.